In this video, I'll break down the 3 key lessons that you need to learn and master in order to achieve consistency. I'll show you 3 traders' journals. One who is consistently profitable, one who is turning their trading around, their equity curve has bottomed out, and one who is consistently negative. And we'll compare the actions of all 3. Normally I start off with the successful trader, but we're going to start off with the trader that has had a consistent downtrend. Let's look at the stats. So stats wise, 31% win rate, a profit factor of 0.2, and average win is less than the average loss. So from a mathematics perspective, what they are doing currently does not have edge. We have to peel back the onion and see if it's the strategy or if the trader isn't executing the strategy correctly. Now, this trader is utilizing the playbook that the successful traders, I want to show you a trader that has passed 100K. I'll show you a trader that is up 40K. They're all using the same playbook, but this trader is working on their execution, okay? So with a negative RR, they'd have to have a high win rate, okay? Or in order to be profitable with this low win rate, they'd have to have a higher RR, okay? What's happening here with this trader? Okay, let's look at the trends. So in June, they lost $400. And I said, hey, go ahead and pull back on your risk. They had a fat finger loss. And then July, 152. So less P&L, less negative. Then August, 133. So each month you're starting to see like, okay, they have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green days. And in July, they had more green days. There's a problem here, right? If you look at the green days in comparison to the red days, negative 37, negative 28, negative 24, negative 28 here. And the highest green day that they've had in this entire time, maybe about $17 here. And all the others have been sub $10. There's a pattern here, right? Negative 17, negative 24, negative 20, negative 46. Okay. So what I did, I told this trader, I said, hey, look, we need to reduce the amount of tickers that you're going to trade to 2 per day. And you'll find that these days where they actually were profitable, they had less trades. Okay. 100% win rate, 100%. And so what's happening here is this person is taking a lot of invented trades, especially in the beginning. Okay. The bulk of their P&L, especially the negative P&L, is from invented trades. 12 trades here, 3 trades here. So and a lot of it is just, them reacting to the market, like what they see, what they think they see. If you look at the P&L is declining, is because I told them to reduce the risk and then they need to take less trades. Okay, so they're working on the discipline. Sometimes here you see 5 trades. It's unnecessary to take so many losses, right? So we take a pause. If you're in drawdown and constantly in the red, there's no reason for you to reward yourself with more trades until you can trade 2 tickers positively. And I know you may get FOMO, but pull yourself back to only 2 trades until you work out the execution errors. There's all kinds of things here, okay? And again, this person is gonna work it out. 152, okay? Then they work their way down to August where 133. Only 2 green days, but what happened? They had more green days in July with negative 152. I sat down with the trader. I said, hey, look, you keep breaking the rule for the maximum of 2 tickers. We need to work on that. But since you don't have a high win rate right now, what we need to do is we need to raise this number up, your average win to loss. And the way that I explain for them to do this, the way I suggested that they do it, is to use a scaling in approach. They know they have a low win rate. When you peel back the onion, a lot of it is late entries. They're entering at the top instead of low. They're chasing instead of getting the entry down. They're gonna have to do a lot of replay so that they can catch the moves. But I said, hey, look, let's do 4 entries. So you're gonna do P1 is gonna be a 1/4 of your risk. Okay, P2 will be a 1/4, and then as something is working, we're gonna cut those losers 50% down, 50% to 75%. If the trade is working, you lean in, you scale into that trade. If a trade is not working, then you eliminate the size of your losses. So what you're starting to see happen here is this trader has went from about I think 0.33 risk to reward to a 0.9. So they still need to bring that risk to reward up. But this right here is going to start to help them, especially if they can raise that win rate as well. There's a lot of work to do here, but all hope is not lost, and they can recover here. Okay, he had an $11 winner here. All right, so he entered this one sort of late, and he looks like he added this one. He added again, took some profit, Okay, he scaled out of that. So if he keep his losers down to around like $3, this is all the process. Again, 7 trades violated, and he lost a lot more than he was supposed to on this one. See what happened. See, like I said, there's a lot of late trades. I mean, he bought up here, right? Should have got in lower, a lot lower. But he's entering high, and it looks like he may have miscalculated risk or something like that there. This trader is in the works. They need to take advantage of the move. One trader made $6,000 from this trade. Okay, one of their classmates. So the name of the game for him is going to be reduce the amount of trades, keep those winners larger. He could have probably made about $25 this day, maybe 30, and then maximize those winners. So now let's move to the profitable trader. So this trader is up around 40,000, and on the TURB trade yesterday, from this move from here to here was a 29% move, and they end up having a 12R trade here, $500. It went up, and they made almost 7K. These are the moves that you have to nail, and you have to make the most out of, make the best of them. These days, they'll take care of the entire month. Okay, so let's take a step back and look at his stats. All right, so he's up around 40K, and his win rate is higher, 66%, profit factor of 1.5, and his average win to loss, it's a negative R, but he has a positive profit factor. That can work if you have a high enough win rate, especially with these types of stats. Okay, so one of the things that this trader does very well is that they maximize the winners. Okay, we go to last week. They have a day where, okay, they made 9K. So Monday we had OCTO. So OCTO is a stock that went up 5,000%. So on those days, your gains should be asymmetrical. Okay, they should stick out. All right. So OCTO that day really stuck out. Then on this day, another one, CWD, was also one that he made about 8K from. This one ran up about 2,500% on Tuesday. Okay, so if you look at their months, they've in June here 2K, 8.5, 16K, 15K. This person has a higher risk tolerance, but their selection is pretty good. That's what I say about this trader. They have good stock selection. If you look at the days, these big days that they're having, relatively, these are days where stocks that they're trading, they're in play. UNH, you had the big boys were investing into UNH. Okay, so that's been in play. So they're using the broken slot machine method, where they are moving around and they're trading the absolute best names, and they are on those days they're taking advantage. Okay, and they have a decent profit factor. Say that to this trader that, okay, you have a good stock selection. You are letting your winners run most days. And what I would say is, I try to figure out how to reduce some of these bigger dips. They have some big dips. So they rise up here, big dip, and then price, they go up. Then they have a big dip every so often. I look at these days and figure out how you can prevent such big losses. What it appears to be, so if you look at DLTH, this trade looked like they held. I mean, here price pop, broke structure, looks like they were holding on and they finally exited, right? So this is like a stop loss. I think there could be a pattern on those bigger loss days where they are not cutting. Okay. So that would be the criticism for this trader. But you can see how this trader had better stats than the previous one. Okay, so now let's talk about one trader who is in drawdown, but their P&L is starting to bottom out. Let's break down the stats, right? This is what I love to do. All right, so if we go to July, negative 500 P&L, 33% win rate, 0.5 profit factor, 1-to-1 RR. Okay, so they can't have edge with this, the current numbers. And if you look at the days here, 2 days primarily took up the majority of the negative P&L. 3 days actually, 1, 2, 3. So these 3 days accounted for the bulk of the negative P&L. So P&L, as I mentioned, P&L is a lagging indicator because there's sizing decisions that happen here that would have caught that throw these stats off. So in the combination of 24 trades here, it's just one trade, EAPL $180 loss. So I'd say that P&L here shouldn't be the focus. We should just figure out what happened on those days. That's what we need to normalize risk. So let's see, in July, they lost negative 500. And then in August, back to back, they lost 500 and then 500. I'm going to make the recommendation to them that they need to reduce the amount of trades. 18 trades here, 16 trades with 25% win rate, 42% win rate here. But there's days where there's a lot of trades and a low win rate. So this trader had to pull back and start to focus on selection. This trader has to be more selective. So watch what happens. So they say, okay, we have a conversation in August. Say, look, for September, gotta be selective. 3 tickers, 3 trade ideas. Okay, you can re-enter if you get stopped out, but only those 3 ideas. Okay, and now they are positive in September. Wherever there's 6 trades, that means that they had 3 trade ideas. One is 2 things: reduce the trades, the losses, and then let's have bigger winners. Okay, through the same method that I recommended to the other trader. Start with that P1, okay, and then scale in. So, profit factor of 1.4. This is a positive. This is an improvement. 72% win on the day, and 2.7 average win to average loss. This, you can engineer a higher risk to reward by using scaling in. Okay, so this trader is now up 220. Okay, for September, they have a rising equity curve. Okay, they become more selective, higher quality selection. Their wins are greater than losses, even though on trade wins to a lower win rate. And they've been able to, follow the plan some days with reducing to that 3 trade, 3 ticker rule. But there could be some reasons why it's showing 10. Maybe they had like some little entries that they tried out and then closed. Okay. They also took advantage of relatively well CWD. Okay, CWD was a stock that ran up to 2,500%. And in the first 2 months, they were in a lot of stocks that they shouldn't have been in. And this month, you're going to see that their selection, as I mentioned, with the last trader, has changed. Okay, so what did they do? Selection improved. Their winners are almost 3 times larger than the losers, and they have reduced the amount of trades that they're taking overall. Sometimes, some days, you'll see that they violated. You should see yourself in one of these traders. Maybe you're the guy that is up 40K and you're nailing it, but you may have dips, big dips. You may have issues holding. We want to cut those losses quick. You may be the guy like this one who has turned things around, and now his P&L is just a lagging indicator. He's going to make this $800 back. He's up 200 so far in September. So that could easily, for the rest of the month, if he continues with the trend, that could easily be a $400 month. If you can trade your playbook well, first you have to validate that you have edge. We're all trading the same playbook here. Validate that you have edge. Work on your entries. Make them tight, get in low. Keep the losses smaller than the winners, and be in the the best names for the day. They have a catalyst, they have volume. The student that is up 40K, he will eventually be another 6-figure student. We had a student that just recently crossed 100K, and I do believe that this trader that is up 40K, I believe he'll cross that 100K pretty soon if he keeps the consistency up and keeps nailing it. If you want to see my roadmap that I teach my students how to go from 0 to 100K, watch this video.